Hey everyone, Steve here, and in this video I'm going to be checking out my setup that I use for original Nintendo 64 controllers on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I just recently released a video about this where I got it to work with Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and I've got the exact same adapter setup and button mappings. I haven't changed anything at all. So that is the original authentic Nintendo 64 wired controller with your little accessory slot going into a RAFnet Nintendo 64 to GameCube adapter, and that goes into the 8BitDo G-Bros wireless adapter in Switch mode, and that just syncs up with the Switch via Bluetooth. Okay, so when I do the controller test here, it's actually going to show what the original buttons were and not any of the new button mappings. But just for reference, what we have with this setup is B is B, A is A. You've got your left analog stick for the control stick on the Nintendo 64 controller. Start is plus. The C buttons are the right analog stick. R on the Nintendo 64 is ZR. L on the Nintendo 64 is R on the Switch. Z on the Nintendo 64 is ZL. I've got my D-pad, and that's it. So to get this to work on the Mario All-Stars collection, I had to do a bit of swapping around, but I'm actually going to reset this to the default mapping and see if that plays nicely with the built-in Nintendo 64 online button mappings. Okay, you're going to see here that I've actually never gone into Nintendo 64 Switch Online, so let's see how that goes. Cool. So here we are in the menu. Of course, the 9 games that it comes with are up for debate whether or not it's worth the value, but let's just go into Super Mario 64 and see what we're going to need to do to get an authentic experience. Now, I actually don't have a minus button via the default mappings here through this adapter setup, so I'm not going to be able to go to the proprietary menus, so we're just going to see how that goes. Actually, let's take a look using the Joy-Cons. L and R? What is that? Okay. That's Z and R in this controller. Okay, so at first glance, I'm going to definitely need a minus button, so this whole thing might be a bust, and I might have to change it for each game, because not all games, for example, are going to need all of the buttons. Man, this makes no sense to me. Okay, actually, I think I get it. Okay, so because it's Mario 64, I don't need the D-pad, so I'm going to swap one of these. If I just go home, just got to the home menu using the inbuilt button on the G-Bros. Okay, so I'm going to need a minus button for the in-game menu, so I'm going to change up on this D-pad here to minus for the Switch. So up becomes minus. Awesome. Time to start a new Mario game. I think we're going to get this. In fact, in any game where the D-pad is just going to mimic or duplicate the movement of the left stick, then I should be fine, because that way I can use the D-pad for a minus button, and everything else I can just remap if I need to. Okay, so left stick walks around as expected. A is jump. B is punch, which is good because by default in the 3D All-Stars collection, B was not punch. Camera controls all work fine. R is not crouching. R is not changing the camera viewpoint, which is interesting. And Z is crouching. Okay, so that's good. So I can... Nice. And I don't have to have my 3D All-Stars cartridge. Oh, let's stay out here for a bit. And L is the one that's changing the camera here. So not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna have to do this instead of this, and I don't have to change any button mappings, so that's totally fine. Mario is gonna work. Got interrupted. Let's have a bit of a play. Oh. Nice. Okay, so quick Mario 64 test done. Using my up/minus. Let's choose a new game. Let's get an authentic Starfox experience going. What's my X? I don't have an X. Uh-oh. I don't have an X to know what my user guide is. Right, okay, so I'm gonna go back to home again and map down to X. Okay. I'm gonna map down on the D-pad to X. Okay, so hopefully Starfox 64 does not require the D-pad. I really don't know if it does for now. Maybe someone out there knows how this is going to end. Okay, down becomes X. Okay, so now I should have everything because it allows me to use the second in-game menu and view the user guide. Up, then down. Okay, Wait, this is the same. It doesn't actually show you what controls are. Okay. Guess we'll figure this out later. Main game, sure. Man, how many cutscenes are in this thing? So while this is going on, the funny thing is how the new wireless Nintendo 64 controller is going to work. I really don't know. Oh, this feels good. Nice. Wait a sec. Okay, so hopefully someone can confirm, but it seems like the D-pad isn't used for anything, at least going back and forth or doing that. So that seems good for my purposes. Okay, this feels good. Up is change view. Left is boost. Whoa. And whoop. Ah. Okay, wait. There we are. Oh, that sucks. My because of this button not doing what it's supposed to on the Nintendo 64 controller, my tilt is wrong. Okay, use the brake, press down C. So I need to swap L here with R here. Basically what we're figuring out here, wrong menu, is that to have a nice experience on each of these games, you're going to have to change the button mappings, which of course is not ideal. So R should now become, oh sorry, ZR should become R. Oh, that didn't work. What? Oh, okay, that was the wrong one. This is not fun. I just did the wrong one, that was all. Okay, perfect. That should be it. Cool. Nice, got it. Yeah, wrong. What? Do a barrel roll? What is this, a meme? Oh geez, how do I repair my ship? Do I go through those rings? Alright, so Starfox, I think we've solved it. Down and left C. No, down C. Oh, ah. This is fun. Come on, got it. Alright, cool. Starfox, done. I use my up, then to game selection. I think I'm going to end it on Mario Kart. Now, I have a feeling that this is all going to be messed up, but I might be pleasantly surprised. L is data. So this was now data instead of option, but that's fine. That is also data, which isn't great. Ugh, I don't have an option. Let's go back and switch. All right. R is going to become L. L is going to become R? No, wait, I don't even have an L, so that doesn't matter. Whatever. And then that should be fine, because ZL remains the same. All right, let's try that. Nice, okay, option. Okay, I didn't really need to go there anyways, but it's good to know that I can. Let's just keep it nice and slow at the 50cc. I'm a Toad main. I don't know what that means or says about me. Maybe I heard a, what is it? I heard a rumor when I was like, what is it, 5? That Toad was the fastest. Nice slow start. Okay, R is jump. Is that what R should have been? Nice. And trigger. Okay, well that's all my shells gone. Jeez, I am all over the place. Can you fire backwards in this? I don't know. Anyways, Mario Kart seems to be working fine. What does L do here? Nothing. And the D-pad does nothing either. Whoop, except obviously the stuff that we planned it for it to do. All right. So we've got Mario Kart, Starfox 64, or in Australia they called that Lilac Wars, and Super Mario 64 on the Switch Online, working with a real controller, authentic that is, wired and everything. And there we are. I can try all the other games, but I think we get the gist that I think the Nintendo 64 controller is not designed to have you press all the buttons at the same time, right? Like, whoa, you're close. That was the goal. So as long as I don't need to press the D-pad, I'm going to be totally wrong about this, and that's totally fine. But yeah, in games where I don't need to press the D-pad and the analog stick at the same time, then I should be fine. Games that are D-pad only though, that's going to be tough because you can't change the analog stick in the Switch to be buttons. So that's where limitation's going to pop its head up. Whew, why do they keep trying to get me, man? Ooh, get out of here. Where's all my info, like what lap this is? Oh, there we are. I didn't realize that was because I pressed left C or right C. How come there's no music either? Should there be? Anyways, let's do it. Anyways, that'll about do it for this video. Just a quick test on how to get this real authentic wired Nintendo 64 controller to work on the Switch to play some Switch online games. Again, this is probably not going to be the preferred way to do a lot of this stuff because of how fiddly it is. Hopefully when the wireless controllers arrive, which should be soon sometime, I'll unbox, have a look at those, test those out and see how it compares. Anyways, that'll do it for now. Thanks so much for watching. There's a lot more to see in my channel, so I hope you stick around. Any questions, just comment. It would be great if you could like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.